now. You guys should be seeing a smooth everything right now. Make sure to tell me if you're seeing the matches right now. If you're able to hear me, make sure to let me know in chat as far as that goes. We will be getting straight into this match. It did just start now. So we are looking right now as far as the matchups. We're looking at the Squires perspective. You can see in here, woo woo. All right, let's go everybody. Sorry for the technical issues. We are currently looking right now at a 10-0 game right now. We're going to switch perspectives real quick. Taking a look at Zach Creatives. There we go. If you haven't already, make sure to refresh your pages. Make sure it looks nice and smooth on your end. Had to make some technical adjustments there. Really bad timing as far as that goes, but now we are back in action here. All right, everybody. We're currently looking at 5 minutes, 30 seconds on the match. Currently 10-0 in favor of the Squires right now. We see Zach Creative's perspective right there as a goal from Harry goes through. Zach was able to try and make a save there, but wasn't enough yet. That's currently 20-0. Squires in the lead right now. Ragtag Trailblazers need to step up the Quaffle game because they are definitely losing it just a little bit right now. Switching sides, seeing the Squires perspective, we see Dementor on the snitch right now. It's getting close to about 50-50% on that meter. Really anyone's game still as far as this goes, and could change at any moment with, as we've seen, bludgers have been flying, bumps have been happening, and any sort of catch can occur on both of these sides. We see right now in the possession, Gertnet with the Quaffle got passed away. We see Fatty as well, kind of looking at the bottom left while watching his perspective. Switching over to the Ragtag Trailblazers right now. We see Zach getting ready to try and defend, but Gertnet sends it through the hoops. Really well played from their perspective right there. We have Shoney back in the booth right now. He's in here listening as well. What are you feeling about this match so far?
Damn, 440 and already 30-0. That's tough, but the snitch meter's looking good for Tronok. If they can tie it up there, oh nice, 10 from Steve. That's great.
Very
If
nice.
they catch it and can stall the Quaffle game at least, it's 40-30. It's a good standpoint.
Yeah, right now it's a 20-point difference. Definitely the snitch can make up the difference here. Switching perspectives real quick, we see it's Harry having possession, passing the Gertnet. Fatty Matty on chaser perspective right here from the Squires. We see him heading up, ready for a pass, but instead of getting like any pass for the Quaffle, he just beelined it for the Seeker. Very well played, more of a defensive aspect there. Taking a look right there at the top right now, snitch meter is getting really close from both sides. We see Fatty kind of trying to be a second beater in a perspective right there. Going back to Zach real quick as far as the Quaffle gameplay goes. Taking a look, trying to take possession. He was able to pass to his teammate.
Oh damn, the snitch meter changed. It's almost 100 for Dementor.
There we go. Just as they were about to score, we see Dementor catch. That is a critical catch right there. That stops the 20 points from going in. Very well timed from Dementor there. Obviously, he probably didn't have too much say in it. He just seen it and clicked, but very well catched right there. That's currently 60-10. Squires in the lead by 50 points right now. There we go. We see a Tunella putting in one right there, closing on that gap a little bit. 40-point difference right now. Still with the second catch adding another 30 points. Right now, the Ragtag Trailblazers need to put in some more Quaffle gameplay. They need to get this extra score, close it by at least a gap of 30. And we see right there another punch right now trying to go into the Seeker gameplay and change that shift right there. Switching over to Squires real quick. Taking a look at Dementor's point of view. We can take a look real quick. Gertnet in the background scoring another goal, making it currently a 50-point difference. Very crucial on the Quaffle gameplay right now. Ragtag Trailblazers need to lock that down.
Right now, there's a good. They should focus switch on the snitch right now since they have 70, and if they secure the snitch, it's over.
For sure, and definitely it's part of what we're seeing as far as beaters kind of keeping off of the snitch line and making sure that they're not able to get too far. Switching over real quick, taking a look at Pax's perspective, showing some keeper love real quick as Gertnet comes into the hoops to try and score. We see Pax kind of go for something on the right, and Gertnet took advantage and went straight to the left. Very well played there as far as Gertnet getting up another score right now, 60-point difference. That's a lot of score to try and catch up here. We see no
2080 is really tough now.
Yeah, we see no hold as far as it goes on the hero kick there. But going back to the snitch gameplay real quick, Dementor getting close to that 50% meter. Same with Tronek. Both are really close as far as the snitch gameplay goes. See a little bit of avoidance right there from Dementor, trying to stay away from Pax, make sure he doesn't get keeper kicked.
That's super good. Dementor is staying away and avoiding these bumps. Tronic is bump heavy.
Switching over Ragtag Trailblazers, we'll be seeing the perspective right now from Pax. Pax is kind of playing a little bit more defensively whenever the Seekers come. He's not necessarily going out too much. We see a lot of those Quaffle goals have probably shaken Pax a little bit. A lot of scores on him. He needs to be careful what goes through. We do see right now trying to get the kick because the Quaffle is all the way downfield right now. Nice kicks attempts right there, but taking a look now on the Quaffle gameplay, we're looking at Zach Creatives right now. Tunella has possession of the Quaffle. They're trying to close in on it. You took a look up top and you can see that the Snitch is really close. 50 seconds left. 50-point difference right now. If you're the Ragtag Trailblazers, you need to score at least 2 more on the Quaffle and get the Snitch.
Yeah, the problem is when you take a look at the timer, it's like only 40 seconds left. It's gonna be very hard to score twice.
Very
'cause it's
difficult.
like 10 seconds to get even the quad back.
Look at this Snitch gameplay. We look at Dementor's point of view right now. We see Tronek in the lead slightly right there. Tronek with the 100%, he does get the Snitch catch. Currently, that does bring up their 20-point difference right now, but only 25 seconds left. They need to get a score right off the bat here as far as the Ragtag Trailblazers are concerned. We see Zach with the Quaffle right here. It could very well happen, but they need to be quickly. We see right there, Steve Meister right there, 70-80. The Quaffle is going to be kicked off. I don't think there's enough time. They are going to have like 3 seconds right there. It's not going to be possible because it is going to be 10 seconds on that. Time Bomb can just hold it, and there it is. We see Time Bomb holding the Quaffle, not able to kick it out, and 10-point difference. 70-80 with Squires taking a game 1 in the series. Very well played and very close. Shoni, how do you feel after that?
Yeah, that was a crazy comeback from Tunella and Squad, but I felt like they weren't on in the early game. They were all over the place. Maybe had the nerves were there, you know. But they had a great comeback. I could see them scoring more with more confidence and also more snitch pressure. Yeah, but unfortunately there was not enough time to tie the game up. So 70-80 is not too bad, 10 points different. I'm hyped for the next game, maybe to see some more pressure from the start right away.
We seen on that Snitch gameplay, both times, Trueneck was doing very well there, and that was able to make sure that they were able to get that extra 30 points. And in the last moments, that really, really helped. That closed up the game, the extra Quaffle goal came on, and it was down to 10 points. If only they had maybe another 20 seconds, maybe they would have been able to bring this game into overtime.
Yeah, both Chaser games were super high pressure, and the keeper, they were just like trying so hard because they had so much pressure.
We seen Pax right there, as far as the amount of goals that went through, was pretty consistent. Like every time that the Chasers were going, not too many saves there. So as far as like the shots on goal, they had a decent amount, but it seemed like the amount of shots that came through wasn't necessarily the factor. It was just they consistently got past Pax there. If you were the Ragtag Trailblazers, how are you going to keep the Quaffle off of their side of the field?
I would definitely try to have communication on who tackles first. Maybe that helped me early in the game to understand what is a good positioning, to not double commit on the Quaffle. Because if you go as chasers, you double commit on a Quaffle and you both miss your tackle, damn, it's gonna be rough for the last chaser or for the beater to try and to intercept or to fumble anything, and it's all on the keeper. If they push with two chasers against one keeper, they can easily one time, especially against like more reactional keepers. It's hard to catch up on that. As well, if you are a reactional keeper, you're having trouble to kick the Seeker and try to catch the Quaffle at the same time.
Yeah, and we've seen over on the Squires' perspective, they definitely were able to take down Griffins in what a lot of people consider an upset, and definitely have kind of placed themselves as a very competent team all around. We've seen Dementor lose that second snitch there. If you're the Squires, how are you going to prevent these from happening again? We've seen Dementor was doing good, Styx was doing good as well, but ultimately Tronek came out on top.
I missed out on the question.
Yeah, so like if you were like right now at the Squires, how are you going to prevent Tronek from catching like he did today?
So far, I just saw. Wait, Who was on the Seeker the whole time? Who played the second beater? Was it the Ragtags or was it the Squires?
So we've seen Fatty
Remember?
Momadi on the Squires kind of playing as like a second
Yeah,
beater there.
yeah, exactly. I mean, that's a good idea. That's what I do most of the time as well. If I see I'm not in the position to go to score or help and with any pass, or when I'm not on the quaffle, I try to watch out for the Seeker or the beater to avoid like pressure from the beater by hitting them or taking them the enemy bludger. That's a good point to do. But I think there must be more pressure from the beater because they had the chaser on the Seeker. They had Time Bomb trying to kick him. I know Time Bomb. He's decent at kicking. Yeah, it's just bit more pressure overall, I think.
Yeah,
That's the
right
key.
now we're waiting for the teams to go into their next match. As we see right now from the Ragtag Trailblazers, their entire party is ready and just has like a refresher. We can see as far as like beater, we see Oriirba. On keeper, we see Pax, Seeker, Tronak. Looks like Chaser, Steve Meister, Zach Creatives, and then Tunella again. So it looks like they're kind of sticking with their roster. Switching over to Squires real quick, we see same Squires there. We see Fatty Momadi, Gertnet, we see Dementor, Harry, Time Bomb, and Hoopla. Definitely a lot of strong players here, and they're keeping with what they had. For the Squires, they're going to consistently play that chaser game. They're doing really well as far as the chasers go.
I feel like Gertner did a very good job by intercepting a lot. That's what I mentioned earlier. He's super strong in dealing the quaffle and controlling the map.
Yeah, I feel like Gertnet and Tunella kind of went head to head as far as a lot of on the quaffle gameplay right there. They were both kind of butting heads, whereas like Fatimo Maddie and you've seen Zach Creative kind of butting heads. They're kind of starting to tag each other, kind of knowing what sort of chasers they need to kind of cover based on each of their own play styles.
From what I see, a good point to figure out how they score, because I feel like they were onto the nerfs came out quite hard, I think. So they tried to do the safe score, like they're they're doing the safe way to score. So that would be like from what I saw, Tunella is definitely center hoop heavy. As a keeper, you should pay attention to who scores where the most, and you can maybe find a technique to avoid some goals there.
We definitely do see a lot of chasers kind of favor a hoop. I know a lot of
Yeah.
people when they start out, they start thinking, "Oh, the top hoop is a little bit further than the other ones," and so if we see the keeper down in the bottom hoops, then sending it to the top is a good one. But then as you start learning different shots, different angles, then certain people start to favor the left or the right hoop. And it's definitely interesting to see these chasers fall into a pattern that if you're a keeper, you start learning the player as much as you're learning the game.
Exactly. If you play a lot, you will start to figure out just by movement or like shooting, or when it's the movement pattern of a seeker, you will get to know who this person is. You will just learn that.
Yeah, for sure. And if you were, let's say, Pax in this situation, because Pax was getting scored on a lot, what are you taking that perspective as far as looking at Fatimo Maddie, Gertnet, and Alex? Or actually, they're running Harry, I believe, and Hoopla is running as well separately. But as far as those chasers go, do you have any insight on them that maybe they could use or something that Pax can keep in mind?
Oh, I haven't seen too much of them. Gurnet is definitely not a guy that will do some fancy stuff or like long shots. He will try to get close, and I think his favor hoop is the left one, or keeper's perspective, the right one.
We're hearing as well that you yourself, Shoni, are a left hoop lover. What do you have to say about that?
Who said that? Oh, it's Wise. I mean, I'm not going to show any insights of my shooting, but if people already recognized left hoop is definitely my favorite hoop. But if I see the keeper is going behind, like he's understanding how I score on the left hoop, I will switch it up. As a chaser, you need to adapt and need to register very fast what's happening in game and what's working and what's not. If you understand that, you will have a gap.
The left hoop is definitely the lowest of the hoops. Do you feel like you favor the left due to its distance from the top hoop is just significantly more?
Especially when you approach from the right one. the right side of the pitch, or like even from high above and more on the right side, you can easily just fake out like the right one, the right hoop, or you go up and then you just dodge last second. It's all about the dodge timing. If you get as close as possible and dodge last second, you will pass them. Easy as that.
Very nice. Well, I hope everyone in the audience today has brought your raincoats because today we are going to be heading straight into Hogwarts rain today. We'll be going into match 2 here. Squires versus the Ragtag Trailblazers. This is a best of 3 series. Squires took the first game and we're going straight into it right here from the Ragtags. We see right now Zach Creative currently going into this, and Dementors. Very close as far as the snitch. We'll have to see the meter real quick to see. It does look like Tronak did find the snitch first. Tronak was able to get the first 5% right there from the Squires perspective. Switching to the Chaser gameplay, we see Zach Creatives real quick. We see they are in possession right now. Tunella taking the quaffle, and Zach Creatives kind of heading a little bit more downfield. He's flying really close to Tunella, able to get that pass off, but that pass didn't quite lock on. You've seen it for a split second, and then it went to Steve instead. So Tunella right there, getting ready to try and score, and there it goes. First score of the game, Tunella right there, within the first minute there. 10-0 currently. Ragtag Trailblazers trying to bring back the quaffle gameplay. We see it's a little bit different from last time.
Definitely more confidence here from Ragtails.
There we go. We see right off the kickoff there, Fatimo Matty taking possession, but Zach able to kind of position himself to take the intercept right afterwards. Very well played on his end. We'll be switching over to Fatimo Matty's perspective on the Squires here. There we go. We see right now from his perspective trying to get that. We see right now it's Harry with possession. Fatimo Matty heading downfield, grabs the pass, but a quick interception there. That goes straight into Steve Maester's hands. Switching sides real quick, we see Zach Creatives kind of leading right behind Tunella, kind of ready for a rebound or positioning himself for a one-timer. There we go. We see the pass. There we go. Very nice. We see Steve Maester.
They definitely shook off the nerves.
They shook off the nerves. They got their quaffle game together, and they're leading right now 20-0. They're trying to get a little bit of snitch insurance, but they are leading right now going into the snitch gameplay.
I feel like their position completely changed. They talked about it. I think they figured stuff out that went not good in the early game from last game.
Yeah, and we're seeing Pax blocking more shots as well, while the Ragtag Trailblazers are having more shots on goal right now. Definitely they're holding the quaffle more and saving Pax from dealing with as much. You see right there.
We should switch to the Seeker gameplay right now.
Yeah, switching over.
Dementor, I think he bumped some snitch meter there.
Yeah, it's currently really close. It's currently 4 minutes and 30 seconds into the match right now. We see the Seeker gameplay really close. Top right, we see Hoopla take out Urba. And so we do see a 10-second difference where Beater is not going to be on Dementor at all, but the Beater is going to have all the pressure onto Tronak. And that's going to be crucial timing right there.
This is the hot phase. Now we need, like, we should see every chaser trying to secure this here. Beater pressure, keeper pressure, whatever. You need everything on the snitch right now.
We're seeing that a lot from Dementor's team right now. We're seeing the Squires kind of putting a lot of chasers towards this, making sure Dementor can stay alive, but we don't see a whole lot of pressure on Dementor himself. We are seeing this currently 30 points right now from Ragtag Trailblazers. They got their snitch insurance. Dementor's going in close. He has 100% on the snitch meter. Getting close to that catch right there. All he needs is a good bend. A bludger was well timed. A bump from Tronak allowed him to get the meter steal, stop the 100%, boost ahead, and get the capture. 60-0 Ragtag Trailblazers. Well
I was
played.
asking myself, where was Tronak all the time? But he dived in last second, got this bump in, and then just dived in for the catch.
Very clutch steal there. We do see the 5% on the second snitch go in Dementor's favor as he found the snitch. Switching over to Ragtag Trailblazers, currently in the lead by 60 points right now. Very well played from Tronak's perspective there.
That was crazy.
Taking a look at the Chaser gameplay, we see Gertnet having the quaffle, but not for long. Zach Creatives was able to get a nice intercept, and here he is on a 1v1 situation. We'll see how he's able to try and score here. He just kind of flew a little bit too close without committing to a hoop.
Ooh, good.
There we go. We see the pass over to It's Harry. Zach kind of getting beat up right now. I feel like some of the chasers don't want Zach to have possession of the quaffle. A one-timer setup right there. Very well played from them. Harry taking the first points from Squires. Currently 50-point difference right now, and Zach falls. Switching back over to Dementor's POV right now, we see, as far as the snitch game goes, pretty equal, but Dementor does get hero kicked. So as much as it was great for them to score, they ended up having the hero kick, and that did take down Dementor. We'll see if he gets punished for it.
I saw a lot of missed bumps in this game from both of them.
There we go. A nice bump. He went off snitch pattern just to try and get that bump there. We'll see if it was worth it for him. He's still low in health, so he needs to play this carefully going into enemy territory. Tackles and tackles. Gertnet in the background making another score, making a 40-point difference. Snitch is 30 points, and so they need that in order to come back here. But Dementor, he's starting to heal, so he can get this here.
Oh, this good avoidance there.
Good survivability, and he's back up to healthy. Switching over real quick, we'll see Pax's perspective. Quaffle is kind of midfield right now, so he had some time to try and kick the Seeker there, but the enemies are about to start coming. Steve Meister taking possession. Very well played from his perspective there. Switching over real quick, we'll be seeing Zach creative side. Tunella with possession. A nice one-timer setup from Zach right there as far as the left hoop from the right-hand side. That makes the score 70-20, leading Ragtags in the second game by 50 points right now.
As I mentioned earlier, they need to secure the snitch now. They need to stop to pay attention on the Quaffle game.
Yeah, if we see right now, Tronek in the bottom left, he's still pretty healthy in the green. Zach taking possession of the Quaffle. There we go. And again, Zach is just kind of flying a little bit too close to the keeper without committing to a score. Switching over back to Dementor's point of view. It's getting really close for Tronek. Tronek is getting close for a catch. Dementor needs to be able to try and steal some meter, get a bump off. Their beater needs to be able to do something here to keep him off of this game.
Right now, Tronek,
there we go.
He's trying too much on his bump.
Dementor was focusing a little bit too much on the bump there. And we see game 2 go in favor of the Ragtag Trailblazers. This is going to be 1-1 going into our game 3 now. Very well played from both teams there. We've seen a lot difference of a gameplay style there from Ragtag Trailblazers. They may have lost the Quaffle gameplay to Squires. Maybe they underestimated their chasers or keeper. But definitely this was a different game. How do you feel about that, Shoni?
Damn. It's nice to see both teams having a one game right now. They definitely came back stronger than on the first game. They had some pressure right away from the start. And I'm curious what game 3 will be.
If you're looking at this,
the pressure.
Say if you're looking at this from the Squires perspective, you took game 1, losing the snitches. Game 2 came really close as far as the snitch, but then both times Tronek took it again. So they're losing the Seeker gameplay here, and then they started losing the Quaffle gameplay. What do you need to change if you're the Squires going into this last match?
To be honest, they are playing very, very well. Squires are playing very well. They, as I just said, they need more pressure on the Seeker. They need to hit Tronek consistently. But they're playing very well, and the only thing that is important now that Dementor has had together and not being like, fuck, I lost the second. Like both snitches the last game, it's all on me and all that. He needs to stay focused. He needs to just play the game without thinking of the game score right now. Because as a Seeker, you tend to do that very fast.
Yeah, we definitely seen in that sort of situation, the Chasers stepped up their game. And I don't think Squires were quite ready for having that pressure back. They walked the Quaffle game first game, so maybe just not expecting as much there.
They definitely need to be good in the defense right now. Squires need to defend more Quaffles, especially in the early game. When they defend more Quaffles and secure the first snitch, that will be a psychological gap for them.
Right now, I'm hoping what we see is, I'm hoping the Squires take a moment to take a defensive chaser into position. I feel like a lot of the chasers have been playing quite aggressively, although Fatimo Matty's been more of a defensive as far as affecting the Seeker. He hasn't been a defensive as far as getting the interceptions that they need. And that's really what kind of lost them that. Right now, we've seen a lot of the defensive play, able to take those interceptions, able to get those, that way it kept it on the Ragtag Trailblazers' preferred way of scoring. And the Quaffle game was completely different. We need to see the Squires change something in the chaser gameplay, and then their beater needs to add a little bit more pressure to Tronek. I feel like we didn't see enough pressure on Tronek there.
Do we have Tronek's POV?
Unfortunately, no.
I would like to see how many blood are appearing on the screen and how the tackles are from Nikki.
That we definitely can kind of see as far as the deaths go. Both Seekers are staying alive, but it's just each of those 5% that getting tackled is what's going to make the difference, and then ultimately those bumps as well.
Do we have builds actually? What they run?
Unfortunately, no, we do not. It would be great if we had like
That
a
would be
spectator
nice.
mode in which you'd be able to look up and be able to be more involved
That
in the
would be
game
so
and
good.
see the builds and all of these. But unfortunately, we do not have that. What we're going to do
So we
right
can
now, I know it's 1-1. It's going to go into game 3. Both teams are definitely thinking about what needs to change right now. We're going to go ahead and take a short break while we wait for these teams to queue up. Make sure to get you guys some water, get you guys some snacks, and make sure that you guys are tuned in for game 3 of Squires versus Ragtag Trailblazers. Just letting you guys know, they are currently just trying to Q snipe each other right now. So as far as it goes, if you're in queue right now, or if your team is partied up, make sure that you aren't queuing while we wait for these teams to get into their matches. And this is where I want to make a shout. If anyone from Unbroken Studios is watching right now, this is where custom games would help us completely. Both teams right now have been trying to get into the same game, and our best bet right now is to Q snipe each other. And while it has been working well, there are always little hiccups like this where it takes a moment, it takes a little bit longer sometimes to make sure that these teams get into each other. We're still waiting right now for everyone to get into their matches, but one thing I did want to highlight is our schedule for today. We are going to be seeing, as far as these matches, a couple loaded matches on today, Sunday. We're going to be seeing Hellfire Hogs versus the Basilisk Brewers right after this match, and so that would be fun to watch. And then after a little bit of a break, because the Griffins versus Hazy Dementors game ended with Hazy forfeiting because they weren't able to field enough players. Thin Ice versus the Nifflers is later today at 6:45. We'll see Rising Phoenix versus Nimbus Nighthawks at 7. And then the Revenants Quidditch Club versus Houston Spartans at 8 o'clock. Definitely is going to be an intense matchup there between all of those right there. I'm looking forward to the Houston Spartans game because I know that that's going to be a close matchup. We're getting right into game number 3, everybody. We got Tux inside of the casting booth now with us as well. We're going to be getting straight into this. Looking at the secret perspective, we're going to see who finds the first snitch. There we go. We see Dementor in the lead right there. Early find right there, looking straight to the red side. Was able to get the initial 5%. Tronak right behind right there as well. Going to be very close to snitch game. There we go. Taking a look, switching sides, we have Zach Creatives and Pax. We'll switch over to Pax's perspective. Pax is taking a look right now as far as it goes. A little bit of pass play attempted there, but it didn't go to anyone right there. There we go. We see Zach Creatives able to take it out of Pax's area right there, and we'll switch over to Zach's kind of blurry perspective here, but we can see it right now. There we go. A kick, and it goes loose. We see Tunella taking possession, though. Able to try and get it into there, but another save. Really good defense right there from Time Bomb. Switching over, seeing Pax's perspective, nice and clear here. We can see as far as it goes, the Quaffle is incoming from Gertnet. Gertnet was putting up a lot of points last game, so we'll see if they're able to score once again on Pax. There we
I
go.
just see that both teams are struggling right now a bit. Okay, there we go. Like the first 2 attempts from both teams were kind of struggle for them in terms of scoring, but now Gertnet got it in again, and I think they just have too much room. So for both teams, just close up the lines and don't give them much time to cook. the longer the time you have, the higher the chance of scoring is.
Yeah, we've seen him try an attempt right there to try and get a hero kick, but not enough time because you only have 8 seconds that you can hold the quaffle for, and then you're forced to kick it out. See Harry with a pass that doesn't lock back on again. Fatty was able to take possession though, keeping it inside of their team. So passing back up fourth goes to Harry. We're going to see Fatty Momadi with a one-timer setup on the left-hand side. Kind of choreographed as to where he was going with it, but it still worked on packs. Fatty Momadi able to bring the score 20-0 currently in favor of the Squires. They're bringing back their quaffle gameplay that we've seen in the first match.
Yeah, they're definitely dominating here again, and I think the defense is just too slow, as I said before. Maybe they just should put all in the attack then, if their defense is lacking a bit, and just at least try to get these goals in. Otherwise, focus on here.
We just quickly had switched over to Zach Creatives having a one-timer setup, evening that score down 10-20, 10-point difference right now. It's still anybody's game. It's getting really close for it. But in the top right, we do see, if I switch real quick, you see Dementor fell. Dementor did get eliminated by the beater. Switching back over to Zach Creatives, we see Tronek fell in the bottom left as well. Both Seekers died, getting close to the snitch catch here. Very close game right here. We're seeing good pressure on the Seekers as it gets close to the catch. Going back up with a healthy Dementor now after his 10-second recovery there. We see Tronek is leading right now on the snitch. They need to keep that pressure there. We see Nikki on the top right took out a chaser, but it now needs to transfer over into the Seeker gameplay. We see Tunella as a chaser knocking out the beater. Tronek has no pressure right now from Nikki because Nikki falls. We see as the chasers are getting more involved here, Dementor is getting bumped, and Tronek has the lead here going into this catch. He needs this catch to maintain their lead and continue. We tried, really bad turn there from Dementor. Tronek was able to get a lead. Tronek is still off course though. Tronek dodges a dodge though. Very well played though as far as the bump there. Tronek was able to dodge it and go in for the catch. This makes it a 40-20 difference right now. 20 points is all it takes. This is going to come down to the second snitch, I feel like.
Yeah, the miss bump from the mentor at the end kind of sealed the
bump, yeah.
snitch there. He lost completely track of the snitch after that and couldn't get any closer.
If he wouldn't have bumped that, he
Tronek.
would have been closer. He could have
Yes.
secured the snitch with a good bump there.
I mean, he had to go for a bump, but maybe that was a bit
Yeah,
too greedy there.
He's not having it with the right timing there.
We see Gertnett closing up the score though, 40-30. This is still a 10-point difference. It's still going to be very crucial on both of these teams who is going to come out on the second snitch.
This is high pressure now. This is intense.
I'm not sure if the beaters are battling each other, but we just don't saw any bludges at the end. Like only 2 at the very end, but other than that, the beater pressure is pretty
There's
low this
no-
game.
Yeah.
We did see last time Tunella did end up killing Nikki, so we know that the chasers were getting involved and they were kind of taking out the beaters, kind of having a little bit too much pressure from chasers on the beaters that probably shut them down.
Yeah,
think
I
they're
mean,
not even using their tackles or I didn't see close miss attempts.
This is currently
I mean,
40-40.
for Tronic's
is
team
so
here,
crazy.
that it makes sense if you go for the beater. If you're up, go for the beater, obvious. But for the other team, you have to focus on the Seeker more.
Yeah.
Speaking of Seeker pressure, we're looking at Dementor at 2 health right now. He has been forced to play in a very passive style right now, having to try and stay off the snitch meter, try and get bumps. We see in the background Steve Meister was able to get another score right there. That's currently leading the Trailblazers with 10 points right now, 50-40 with less than 2 minutes.
They figured out how to focus on the mentor now. He's having a hard time chasing the snitch here.
Yeah, he's getting off path of the snitch very often because he's super low.
Yeah. That's
the
the
chase
key
is
right
doing a
now.
great
Look
job
at the
right now.
snitch meter. Yeah.
Yeah, if they keep up that pressure, then Tronic might just catch again here and win them the game.
Tronek is definitely doing good avoiding these bumps, and I feel like Dementor's bumps are being his downfall. If he just didn't try and bump as much, he would probably be doing a lot better.
Yeah, for the mentor in this particular match or the setup here, like a 5-5 would work better, so you don't have to focus on the bumps, but rather just to stay alive.
Yeah, we do see in the
Plus he's-
background another score does happen in the Trailblazers. They're getting that snitch insurance, even though it's looking right now in Tronek's favor. They might not need it. It's the last 50 seconds right now, 20-point difference. If Dementor gets this catch, it would put them in the lead.
You can tell Dementor's pathing is most of the time very, very good, and he's filling up his snitch meter even though he has to stay away. The 5-5 would would work in his favor so good.
Yes.
We have the full snitch insurance right now from the Ragtag Trailblazers. 30 seconds left in the match. Tronek falls. This leaves Dementor with the lead that he needs.
Ooh.
He has 25 seconds left in the match. He needs this catch. It would even the score and go into overtime. We see
Needs to
Time
get
Bomb
close.
holding it right now. Tronek falling is huge. We see in the top right, Nikki takes out the beater as well. So there's no beater pressure on Dementor right now. He
Let's go
has no
catch it.
secret pressure. And there we go. We see
Come on.
Dementor with the catch. 14
Very-
seconds left in the match. 70-70.
Damn, let's go.
A single quaffle right now can be the winning, or it can go into overtime. This was a huge catch from Dementor. Great on beater pressure. Nikki taking out the enemy beater right there. We're currently switching straight over to the quaffle game. Goosebumps as well. We see the pass go straight into Zach Creative's hands, straight going downfield right now. We see as far as the Steve Maester heading into the sudden death. Currently, any score right now in the quaffle gameplay or the snitch
All
is
on
going
Time
to win
Bomb.
this game yet. It's all down to Time Bomb right here, trying to defend a goal. Doing
Oh,
really
they
good,
lost the
doing a
beater.
great block. There you go. We do see a disconnect there. This is going to be an interesting situation on
But
how
can
this
Gertnet
goes.
end?
It's Harry does go with the
It's
winning goal,
in!
80-0. That is a Squire victory. With the disconnect, we'll have to see what the decision is there. Very close game. Highlight of the catch was going to be Dementor in that situation, 70-70. We'll have to see what happens here.
This is tough.
I mean, in all fairness, I think the beater disconnect wouldn't change much at the end there. If it was the keeper, that would be maybe a different breed. But yeah.
I feel like this is. I don't know if this is enough for a rematch.
I mean, no.
to be honest.
According to the rules, I don't think there's a reset if
No,
they're
I
tied.
don't
So that
think
would be
so.
0 points difference in overtime, and that's not a reset anymore. Yeah, I mean, the only point where it's a reset, they have an agreement before, but I don't think that such agreement was made. So.
The kill on Tronek was huge.
So
The kill on Tronek was huge.
the kill on
Holy
Tronek was
shit.
huge, followed after Nikki getting a kill on the beater, and so Dementor had no pressure going into that snitch catch. Very intense gameplay from both teams, bringing it into the overtime. Unfortunately, with that disconnect, we can't completely call this match yet. I believe
Goddamn.
it's going to be in favor of Squires, but we're going to have to wait for the ultimate decision going into this.
I think that was the best match I watched so far.
Tux, how do you
in-
feel
in
about that
terms
as
of
well?
attention.
I like that match very, very much, especially when we looked at the other match. The last match, I kind of missed the secret pressure. The first snitch, I missed the secret pressure too. And after the first snitch was caught and was the 40-40, it was like a wake-up call for both sides. And after that, they just started hitting. They played very, very good on both sides. I saw chased pressure on the Seeker. I saw Tronic going down. I saw bumps hitting from the mentor. After the second snitch, they just steps up and take this home. Like, it was very good play.
Shoni, if you're taking a
Amazing.
look at this in this situation, both teams fought really hard here. But what would you say was the breaking point that brought the Squires to take the victory?
To be honest, the Ragtag Trailblazers did so good on the snitches. Like, the chaser pressure was on, the beater pressure was on. Pax tried to kick the shit out of Dementor. They did so well, but somehow I missed the pressure in the end on Dementor of their side. That was the key. Especially as they killed Tronek. That was the death sentence to snitch for them. I think they went too soft on Tronek again. Dementor, sorry.
Yeah, and definitely that kill on Tronek is the pivoting point right there. Well played
Yeah.
from both sides as far as that bringing that secret pressure. We're just waiting for an official call from League 7 staff and from the captains involved if it's going to be any sort of restart or if they're going to call it there with a Squire victory.
Especially, I think, also a big shout out for Time Bomb and the Chasers that stalling the quaffle game and also backing up the quaffle game to the certain standpoint that if they catch a snitch, they get the tie up.
The only question right now is if they, or like, do they have an agreement before on the reset? Because if they're not, then this gonna be a reset according to the technical management rules.
Taking a look real quick at the rules, I pulled it up so that way everyone's able to view it. As far as this chart goes, it shows the time in the match compared to the point differential. And basically that means the points between the two teams, how much of a gap it is. When it goes into overtime, that's less than 30 seconds and is tied, so it's 0. and technically by the rules, it would count
It's a
as a restart. So it's going to come up to League 7 to decide. They're probably going to want to favor with the rules to decide on a restart, but it's going to come up to if the captains are making that decision to restart or if one of them is going to let them have the win. I know we are currently waiting for Hellfire Hogs versus Basilisk Brewers. Their start time is about right now as well. So the moment that we hear what sort of situation happens here is when we'll be able to figure out what happens from this game and being able to go into the next one. And yes, that disconnection did happen in overtime, it looked like.
I think it was before.
It doesn't even matter if it's before
even
or
matter
after
because it's
overtime because it's
30
under
seconds.
30 seconds. So after 30 seconds, it's the same.
Even though above 1 minute, it's a restart because it was tighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's tied, it's always a
If you go
restart.
by the technical management, this has to be a rematch.
Yeah, the question is if they have an agreement, because that could pick this up here.
All right, well, the captains are definitely talking, and League 7 staff, I see them all talking together, so we'll hear the outcome the moment they come on a decision. As far as that goes, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and crank up the music real quick. We'll take just a moment, and the moment I hear anything, we'll let you know.
The results.
We see it right
yeah,
there from
Nikki.
Nikki coming in chat. Nikki was a part of the Squires, and they are saying that they are taking it as it stands, with the Squires taking a 2-1 victory over Ragtag Trailblazers.
Big shout out to both of the teams. Very well played. Very well played.
Huge shout out for sure. GG's to both teams. Respect as far as it goes. That disconnect, while unfortunate, it happened and then the quaffle was scored. If maybe it came down to the snitch or something like that, I can see more of an argument for the reset. But it was a couple seconds into overtime. We did see the quaffle get scored. It's hard to say if it would have really changed the outcome of it. Both teams played really well. Squires and Ragtag Trailblazers are not any sort of team to just shrug off for sure. It was a very cool match to see, and definitely a situation in which if the captains agree on a situation, like that sort of situation that just happened now, we have the community that comes together, that the rules are there if there's any in dispute, but the captains make the final call there.